A long time ago, somewhere far off in the east, there was a world where human and the earth lived in harmony. It was a time between the 11th and 7th centuries BC when the land remained untouched by chemical pollution and days were unhurried by the buzz of digital gears. In the simplicity of everyday life, people sang their emotions and experiences into poetry. The world was their stage, and nature became their backdrop. Every sentiment, joy, sorrow, longing, or anger, found its colorful note in a poetic resonance with the surrounding nature. Sorrows were released upon the whisper of the wind. Longing lingered in the moon's mysterious glow. These poems were eventually compiled into a single collection known as the Book of Songs 2,500 years ago by Confucius. It is one of the world's oldest and most influential poetry anthologies. This foundational work played a crucial role in shaping the culture and civilization of the Far East and the whole world. While we understand the significance of works such as Laozi's Tao Te Ching, Sun Tzu's Art of War, Zhuangzi's Imaginative Tales, or Murasaki Shikibu's The Tale of Genji, we may not know that their literary styles, and even some of their core concepts, can be traced back to these earlier poems collected in the Book of Songs. Yet due to its remote antiquity and obscurities of ancient language, this book remains largely unknown in the West. However, our unapologetic quest for the answers to life's fundamental questions, who we are, where we come from, and where we are going, has led us inevitably to these ancient Eastern texts, such as the Book of Changes and the Book of Songs. Through this channel, we'll share our lifelong reflections and philosophical thoughts drawn from these ancient texts and hope to offer a fresh perspective for contemporary society. Hello everyone, welcome to Eastern Aesthete, a channel seeking beauty and truth in today's bustling world from ancient Far Eastern books. The poems in the Book of Songs emerged around the similar time when Homer was singing his epic lines along the rugged shores of Greece in the 8th century BCE. Intriguingly, like Homer's works, the Book of Songs was originally sung, not written. However, the two are strikingly different in literary style. While Homer focused on the heroic journey of a single protagonist, the Book of Songs gathers 305 poems voiced by people from all walks of life: farmers, soldiers, lovers, officials, just like you and me. These 305 poems span a vast range of themes, delving into almost every aspect of life: birth and death, hope and fear, dating and marriage, love and hatred, loyalty and revenge, friendship and betrayal, governance and tyranny, and so on and on. In a kaleidoscopic display, the book unfolds nearly every dimension of human relationship that defines our lives: the rapture and yearning of romantic love, the fidelity or fracture of marital bonds, the care and conflict between parents and children, the allegiance or treachery between sovereigns and subject, the fellowship or dissonance between friends, and etc. And yet, what impresses us most is not merely the breadth of life chronicled in these poems, but the startling sense of familiarity they evoke. Though sung thousands of years ago by voices long faded into dust, their emotions, in joy and yearning, in grief and hope, still echo within us. In these poems, we discover the distant memories embedded in ourselves. No matter how far we've advanced in technology, how distant we are in time and space, or how different our cultures and languages may be, something inherent to humanity remains unchanged. These verses do more than recount stories from a distant age. They actually reflect our own. And even more, they offer us a way up. We might be familiar with the concept of the Tao or the Way, as introduced by Lao Tzu, but what is the Tao truly? And how should we live with the Tao? In these poems, Tao is not taught. It is lived. It is breathed. It is embedded in everyday life, in the rituals of courtship, The turmoil of battlefields, the babbling of mountain streams, the blossoming of peach trees, the glistening dew on morning grass, the falling leaves in autumn wind, and etc. Here, the Tao reveals itself in the soul's poetic response to the surrounding world. There are countless stories, thoughts, philosophical ideas, and art we'd love to share from our reading of these 305 poems. And today, let's start our journey from the very first, the fish hawk, and see how the Tao is revealed in love. Just a note for the curious. We won't be able to read the entire poem here. If you're interested in exploring the full translated collection, feel free to check out the book via the link in the description below. This opening poem is a wedding ballad for the Zhou nobility, dating back over 3,000 years. It is the only poem in the Book of Songs to have received commentary from Confucius himself. As he wrote, "The first ballad in the Book of Songs expresses the emotions of love. It is passionate, but not sensual. It is melancholy, but not morbid." As you know from Confucius's commentary, this is a song about love, a theme that perhaps lies at the very heart of human existence. Through the act of loving, we connect with the external world, and in love, we come to understand ourselves. The love between a man and a woman is probably the most primal expression of this connection. Perhaps it is why the Book of Songs opens with a love song. Guan Guan rings the fishhawk's song, and on the islet they play along. The opening lines of the poem transport us to a riverbank steeped in the freshness of spring, a setting alive with life and symbolism. Fishhawks call out in pairs, while vibrant watercress drifts gently along the stream. Here, water flows, time slows, and in this pastoral stillness, we witness the affection of a prince for a lady. The heart-stirring spark of their first encounter, the restless nights filled with anxious longing and tossing, the tenderness expressed through the hum of lute strings and the resonant chime of bells. Every subtle emotion, be it thrill, yearning, or sweetness, pulses through the lines, making his love feel vivid, tender, and real. And yet poetic beauty alone may not be enough to elevate this poem into a timeless classic, sung and cherished for 3,000 years. So what deeper truths might be hidden in this ancient poem that speaks so enduringly and endearingly of love? Here are 3 reflections. Firstly, love is to give, not to seek. The poem, while portraying a prince's pursuit of a lady he loves, does so without depicting any physical interaction or tangible closeness. The very act of turning and tossing alone reveals that love can be deeply felt even in solitude. He isn't waiting for her response. He thrives simply on the joy of being aware of her presence. Love, in its purest form here, finds fulfillment in the act of loving itself, without imposing any demands or conditions upon the other. On the contrary, let's look at how we interpret love in modern society. When we say, "I love you," does it mean I will cherish, protect, and defend you as I would myself, without any conditions? Or does it imply, "I love you, so I want you to need me, think about me, and not be able to live without me"? Does "I love you" represent an open invitation to mutual growth, or is it perhaps a plea for dependence and control? When we are eager for love, we must first reflect on these unexamined questions within ourselves, and then ask more. Why do I seek love? Is it to fill a void within me? To alleviate loneliness? Or to validate my status? Or am I seeking love for a meaningful connection, for uplifting growth? By clarifying these emotional motivations, we'll be able to distinguish between empowering love, a type of love rooted in independent freedom, and destructive love, a type of love driven by emotional dependence. From this inner clarity, we begin to uncover a truth. Compatible and nourishing love must begin not with the other, but with the self. It must be rooted in the wholehearted acceptance of our own being first, not just our strengths, but also our flaws, wounds, and imperfections. It is only through this self-acceptance that we become truly capable of love, free from the desire for external validation or the approval of others. Much like the protagonists in this poem, she is pure and fair and he is sincere and faithful. The bond between two virtuous souls reveals not only an image of true love, but also a secret to its foundation. True love is not found in possession, but in character. Secondly, nourishing love lies in reciprocal alignment. To say, "I love you and I do not expect," is a pure sentiment, but this one-sided love may not be enough to create a lasting and sustainable relationship. True love thrives in reciprocity. I must clarify here. Reciprocal relationship and transactional relationship are two very different concepts. Reciprocity is an interaction between two souls that resonates, echoes, and builds each other in waves of shared feeling, while transactionality is a trade, where each act of giving and receiving is calculated in the marketplace of love. As we see in the form of love in this poem, with lutes in play, our hearts aligned. In love, as in music, when two heartstrings begin to attune, harmony arises. So when you're in a relationship, ask yourself, is this someone with whom I am willing to attune and create harmony? I say willing because harmony is a choice, not something we simply find, but something we build. It's nearly impossible to meet someone who aligns with us perfectly. The real question is, are we willing to tolerate the discord, adjust ourselves, and attune together to create harmony? In love, harmony isn't a gift we stumble upon. It's something we actively cultivate and attune. A relationship without reciprocal alignment is like a poem without cadence. The words may be well composed on the surface, but there is no melody to carry them forward, no musical resonance between words to give them life. And without that, the connection eventually fades. Thirdly, compatible love lies in balance. As Confucius commented 2,500 years ago, the love in this poem is passionate, but not sensual. It is melancholy, but not morbid. Unlike the feverish passions so often mistaken for fate in modern films, lasting love is never born in extremes. Love is like a fire. It must be tended, not go so wildly that scorches our hands, nor burn so low that leaves us cold. It is an art to find that balance, to keep the flame warm enough to comfort and bright enough to illuminate. We're often taught that love is something we fall into, something that simply happens to us. But in truth, love is not just a feeling, it is a cultivated ability. It requires daily practice of attention, patience, and care. The secret to growing a mature love lies somewhere in the middle, where the heart still pulses but the storm has settled. It's an art of balancing intimacy with independence, of being for another while still remaining oneself. As illustrated in this poem, we witness the prince's yearning, his heart stirred, his thoughts restless. There is intensity in his affection, yes, but never indulgence. His emotions move with grace, not wildness. Lute is plucked and the ceremonial bells reverberate. He loves her, but he does not seek to possess her. The love portrayed here is a lingering, poetic sensation, an art of holding without clinging, of giving without losing, of feeling deeply without drowning. In this poem, love is not something we're trapped into, but something that nurtures us, so we grow up together. Perhaps these are the very secrets that have allowed this love song to be sung for over 3,000 years. The Book of Songs collects a vast anthology of love poems, exploring love in all its forms, be it the melancholy of unrequited love at first sight, the aching anguish of betrayal, or the serendipitous bliss of an unexpected encounter. Each poem may hold within it a lesson, a truth, a reflection that sheds some light on how to cultivate the capacity for love, not only between man and woman, but between all relationships. We'll continue to share these literary treasures and thoughts in the episodes to come. In the meantime, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments what kinds of stories, emotions you'd like us to explore. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Finally, we invite you to click the link in the description to explore our translated edition of the Book of Songs. In addition to original commentary and translation, we've created an artwork for each poem in an attempt to capture the invisible poetic essence of these ancient verses through the classical lighting techniques of Renaissance art.